Fantastically finished.
All right. Welcome back. This is the Saga segment. The conversation we'll be having next is a conversation we started some time ago, but I think that we should still continue in that direction on this particular episode of the show. And joining me to look at this particular issue, it's someone in the diaspora, a Nigerian in the diaspora, and we are actually looking at embarking on a professional football career. And joining me, like I said, it's a Nigerian in diaspora from the U.S. Bayonle Arashi joins me from the U.S. He is the sports entrepreneur and author, and the founder of ScoutBallers. You will agree with me that Bayonle Arashi is in the best position to put light to this particular issue. Bayonle, thanks for joining me again. How are you doing? All the way from Texas.
Good to hear from you, bro. How have you been as well?
Great, great. The last time you were on the show, we were looking at how to get a professional football career on track. So we're going to continue in that direction. The last time we had a conversation, that time you just released a book, Roadmap to a Successful Football Career. And there is an update to that particular group, that particular book, I beg your pardon. Now,
Yes.
why do you think you just had to maybe update the book? Let's start from that.
Well, thank you very much for having me again. It was a very interesting discussion the last time I was here, and as you said, the response I got from that first version of the book was very, very, very impressive. I got a lot of positive feedback from people that read it, but more importantly from stakeholders in the business, leaders in sport, journalists, folks like you have something positive to say. So I feel that there were some of the feedback was so positive that I decided that, okay, why not update it and make it a revised edition a year after, and that was why I went ahead and just choose to revise the book. So it's revised now, more pages, more information, and as you know that a lot of things change in the game year in, year out. The same system and methodology that was used last year in terms of recruiting players have changed, and so you have to keep updating yourself. As you know that innovation never stops, so you keep innovating until you actually see results in terms of player development, more importantly from Africa. I'm very, very passionate about my people. That's why I would say, because I feel the opportunity is what is not really there. The opportunity is there, but the information is what people don't have. And that's one of the reasons why I appreciate you for giving me your platform to come here and talk to our people. So the feedback was one of the major reasons why I choose to revise the book.
Bayo, let me ask you something that I noticed in the last 2 years. I can see that the ecosystem has changed as a result of the pandemic. You know that because there has been restrictions about traveling, and you know that this particular profession, if you want to operate in the football ecosystem, it requires a lot of traveling, especially for the scouts.
Absolutely.
What are the things that you think have changed, or how do we adapt from the perspective of the footballers now?
I mean, you're spot on right there. The ecosystem is changing and will keep changing. Funny enough, I wrote about 4 pages review or report last year, not even knowing it was going to get as bad as it got, right? And now it might even get worse due to the Omicron variant that is just found. Though Nigeria has not been added to the list in America yet, but of course it's been added in the United Kingdom, and it might be added. It's just a matter of time. In the state of Texas, we've not seen any of the Omicron variant yet, but it's been seen in 16 states. So having said that, you have to take it upon yourself to find a way to always see how you can get an opportunity regardless of what is going on in the game. So if you really, really, really want to make it in this career, like I said, it involves a lot of traveling, especially if you want to go for tryout. you have to start looking inward now. And that's one of the things I put in that report that I released last year, that most African players, African teams have to start looking inward, have to start looking around how we can build our own league, how we can build our own football, maybe not to be at par with what is available over here or in the United Kingdom, but at least to get better than the way it is at the moment.
Yeah, let's now move to the nitty-gritty now. Yeah, now we've been faced with the challenge of the pandemic. Now, for those young lads who right now are still determined to follow the course through, what are the basic attributes that you think they should possess now? Because for the obscene time, we need to remind them that these are the basics. So what do you think are the basic attributes now for the players?
Number one, start early. That's the key. I'm very sure you and I know, and you know me for that in particular, that I'm not a fan of age cheat. It's the number one challenge we have in Africa. I see chat with one as early as it is this morning that was telling me the age on my card is 14, but my real age is 19. And I just all I could do just to shake my head like, okay, but we have to start encouraging the kids to start early. Register for a football academy around your neighborhood from age of 5, if possible. And I'm very thankful that a lot of parents, due to the fact that I own a soccer academy back home in Nigeria as well, I've been getting a lot of response from parents wanting their kids to participate in sports, very early on. So that's one of the major attributes that you need to have, and that we need to start encouraging in our culture right now for kids to start early. Number two, while you start early, of course, the coaches are going to help you to define how you can play the game, your talent level, the position you can play. They're going to help you with that one. For example, many of them say, I want to be a striker, I want to be like Cristiano Ronaldo. But maybe you could just be another Vincent Inyama or another midfielder, so just in a better position. The coach, those are the coaches of the job. They are going to help you, to nurture you, to find you the right position to play in the game. But more importantly, you also have to start looking for opportunity as well, very, very early on. Like I said, over here, from the age of 5, 6, these kids are already participating in football leagues. They're already playing league week in, week out. They already show them the spirit of competition, how to start competing at that very young level. And then the third one is, of course, you have to be honest with yourself. Am I willing to pay the price of patience, of extreme hard work, of the fact that my environment doesn't encourage me, which we all know that in Nigeria in particular now, I don't know how many recreation centers that we have, because even in schools, which I have some of my kids are also there, I know that not many schools have a recreation center where kids can actually play football. Always probably trying to build this gas station and, of course, religious centers all across. I don't have any problem with that, but of course, we cannot leave those important part of our culture of kids being exposed to recreation very early on, giving them that environment to thrive, to play the game, to learn, to train, to develop. So we have to encourage that as well.
Let's quickly talk about the issue of agents, because right now I also have people who have been coming to me, and there's always that particular that point of at what age can you have your own agents? Or what do you think? How do we go around the issue of agents, and especially when you want to get on with your career as a footballer?
Agents are a very important part of the game. They can like I put it in my book, they can make or break you. But most of the time, the thing has changed over the years. If you look at some of the top football players right now in the world, their agents are their family, their parents. Mention them, all the top, apart from Cristiano Ronaldo and the likes. The rest, their dad, their brothers, their mothers, their agents. So it's very important that you have that. They are not going to go away anytime soon. FIFA tried a new method a few years ago by giving more power to the country football federation to be able to empower local people. They don't call them agents at that time, but they give them the opportunity to help the players to make football transfer easily. But again, I think that system did not work as effective as they were hoping. But before you get to the level of agent, you have to first play the game. You have to know how to play the game. You have to be a top star. You have to have a talent, and you need to have a club that you're playing with or an academy, and you have to be patient. I think the number one challenge that I see among our teenagers, among our youth, is that lack of patience. And that's why many of them fall into the hands of, I'm sure we discussed that the last time, of people that swindle, that take advantage of them, take parents' money. And I told you many stories about this that I personally went through myself. But what you need to do when you get to this stage of getting an agent is two things. Make sure that there is nothing as far as money exchanging hands between you and that agent. When it gets to the level of, I see you are a very good player, but you have to pay me some money to take you to a club, that is a red flag right there. Forget about it. You are the asset. Always remember that if you are the asset, and if anybody believes in your career and believes in your talent, that person must be willing to invest in your career and be able to use his own or our own fund to be able to take you to wherever you want to go to. So it is only when you prosper and when you sign a professional contract that an agent gets paid. And again, that's why I feel we have to start using technology to encourage our players as well. And that's why the platform such as ScoutBallers.com was built, so players can do it themselves. There are other ways you can become a player, and then you don't have to also go ahead and play football the way every other person is playing it. In America, for example, there is a system that they use. They make sure that when you come here and you are in a college, which is also university, you can study. While you are studying and getting a degree, you can also be playing the game. And during the season where they call it draft, every year they do draft like they do in basketball, in American football, they do it in soccer as well. There's a conference coming up in Kansas City in January. Is the gathering of all soccer professionals in America, and that's where they do the drafts. So they normally draft players from colleges, from their first year, second year. It depends on how good you are in the NCAA division, and then you can be signed up to one of the several MLS teams in America, and that's your own path of becoming a professional. So that's the way they have done it in America. So at the end of your career, at the end of the day, you are not going to be ignorant or useless. You are going to have something. In case football doesn't work, at least you have a degree in your hand to be able to go do a job and become somebody in life. So remember that very, very important point, that you are the asset. Do not exchange money between yourself and an agent. That culture is big back home in Nigeria and Africa, and we need to start telling people how it works. Don't exchange money. You are the asset. Always remember that.
Thank you very much, Bayonle, for joining me again for this one. By the way, you are the founder of ScoutBallers. You said ScoutBallers.com, right? If one needs to get
that's what it is. ScoutBallers.com. And quickly, basically, what that platform does for you, let me make it very clear, is you have a do-it-yourself opportunity there. You either have opportunity to meet a scout or an agent or a college coach that is willing to sign you. And what we found out of doing research of about 5-6 years is that players from Africa, especially even up till this morning, like I said, I chatted with one, they don't have the basic information. When you come to me and say I'm a good football player, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, I need a data of your game. And what is that data? Is a video. Okay, do you have a video highlight of your career? Most of them, and I'm telling you this, 85% of even the one playing the professional football league do not have a football highlight of their career. I stand to be corrected about this. If anybody does, please share it, and then I will probably take my statement back. So we are trying to encourage this culture of players starting to gather data of their game during training, during matches. Record your highlights, get your best moments, and then upload it, make it an highlight, 5-8 minutes. You can use that to convince anybody. An agent sees that and says, okay, wow, this is a good player. A coach in American college sees and say, wow, this is a good player. A coach in any college in any part of the world will see it and say, this is a good player, and then you continue discussion from there. So that's what we are building that platform to do for you, and it's free to use for now, of course. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and guys, come on, let's get it done.
All right, thank you very much once again, Bayonle Arashi, an author, sports entrepreneur. I want to wish you all the best, and hopefully we will continue this conversation again someday, because it is an ongoing conversation as long as there is an ecosystem for footballers to thrive on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me, sir. Thank you very much. My regards to everyone in the studio.
All right. Okay, that was Bayonle Arashi, an author as well as a football entrepreneur, who was talking to us about on how to embark on a professional football career. That's it for this segment. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, I will be signing off with the offside segment as usual.